Hello friends, welcome to Brain Sharps. Today we are going to discuss about static keyword in C Sharp. So to understand it properly, first let's go to Visual Studio and see how the things goes with static keyword. So first of all, I would like to tell you that static keyword is a modifier which we use in C Sharp, and this is mostly we can use with classes, variables, methods, and constructors. It is also applicable to properties, events, and operators. To create a static member like class, variable, methods, constructor, we need to use this keyword preceded to the declaration of a variable or a method. When a member is declared static, it can be accessed with the name of its class directly. For example, we see a class named test static class. Here we are creating a static method, say public static void test static method. Here we are simply printing that we are in static method. Now, if you see, I want to use this test static method from another class. In that case, I do not need to create a class of this object. I can directly call this method with the name of class. Here you can see test static class dot test static method is available and I can simply call it. I will write console.readline so that we can see the result also. The screen will wait for your next input till your next input. So let's run the program. And here you can see the output says we are in a static method. It means if we use the static keyword with a method name, we do not need to call the method by any instance of a class. We can directly call the method with the name of class. This was our static method example. Now, if we create a property, let's say test property, which is basically a static and an integer type. Now, if I want to use this property, I can directly call this property using the class name as like we were using the method. So for example, let's say I say test property has value 50 and now I'm writing this value into the console.writeline so that we can see the output, and console.read will help us to wait for few minutes until we do not enter any keyword stroke or anything on screen. So here we can see we can access the property directly using class name when we declare it as a static. So this was our static property example. Now The third one is constructor. So let's say we create a constructor and we simply says we are in static constructor of the class. So the static constructor has a property, and this is possible if we are having this class as a static. All right. So now if we see, as soon as we use this class, the constructor of the class will be created automatically, and as it's a static class and we are having a static constructor, we do not need to create its object and it will call automatically. But the condition here is the static constructor is only called once in a life cycle of the program. As soon as we use the use this static class, the static constructor will be called, and not for the second time. It will call only once in a lifetime of the project. To check this, we can do one thing, like we have created one variable, let's say counter, and we initialize this with 1, and let's say so, and we print it. And after printing, we just added the value with 1. Now if I call the method again, now let's see. Here you can see, first of all, the constructor got called, and we can see we are in static constructor of the class. Then it prints 1, and then it will not come again in a constructor throughout the application. And the constructor called automatically when this class is used for the first time. So this is all about static keyword. There are there are uh, there are some limitations when we use static keyword. So you must be aware about all those limitations. The first one is static keyword cannot be used by indexers, finalizers, or types other than classes. Second one is a static member is not referenced through an instance. It means we cannot create object of an static member. Third is, in C Sharp, it is not allowed to use this to reference static methods or property accessors. The fourth and final point is, in C Sharp, if static keyword is used with the class, then the class always contain a static members. As we see in this example, if we are having a static class, we were having all the members as static. Let's say if I want to remove this static keyword from the variable, then it will give me an error that counter cannot declare instance member in a static class. So it means whenever we are having a static class in our program, we should have all the member, whether they are variable, they are constructor, they are any method, any property, they all should be static. That's all about static keyword. Thanks for watching Brain Shops.